Hello everyone, Namaskar, Annyeonghaseyo. It's me, Divya Bhatta from Nepal, and I'm one of the KGSP Scholar 2020. And Shunjan National University is my language school for the first year, and Kyungpong National University is my degree pursuing university. And today I'll be talking about the documents that you will need. And in my previous videos, I have also talked a lot about KGSP. I have also made a separate video for how to write the personal statement. So I know that undergraduate application will be opening soon in the September. So even for those who are applying for the graduate degree in future, I hope this video will be handy. And yeah, when I was preparing for the scholarship, I could not find detailed video, so I'm making this video to share my tips and experiences that I faced during the application process, and I will list all the necessary documents that are required for the application process. So get ready with the printed guideline from the NIID website, that is Study in Korea, and also print out the application form. I will tell you everything that you will need to fill in the form. So document you need is the major thing for the process of application. So I highly recommend you to prepare a document in advance, because actually there are lots of document you need, maybe 20 plus document you need for this application process. And some of the document, they may need to be reissued, and many of them need to be notarized or apostille, so it takes a lot of time to arrange all those documents. So the earlier you start your preparation, the better your application will be. So I highly recommend you to start your document preparation in advance before the application starts. So this is the checklist of the document that you will need for the application of KGSP. The number one is application form. In the application form, you need to fill up your personal particulars, totally about you. And it's not difficult. It's like a certain form where everything is written and you have to fill it. So you need to fill about yourself. There will be about the personal particulars, and also about your educational history, your grades, your awards and achievements that you have achieved so far, and also about your employment history, and include those awards and those achievements that are more relevant to the application procedure. No need to include everything, but yeah, including them is good, because the personnel who will go through your application will get to know you better based on your achievements and your awards. And something that really helped me in my case was, I was already doing internship here in Korea, and I was also working as the ambassador for Tunja Eco Generation. So these 2 points helped me, and my advisor during my internship, he helped me with a recommendation letter. He wrote a recommendation letter on my behalf in Korean. So I think that was a plus point in my case. And if you have someone from Korea who can write you a recommendation letter, that's better to get the letter from them. And in the employment history, write down all your jobs that you have done so far relevant to your field. May it be part-time, full-time, or even the internship. Mention them all. That is going to help you. Describe the job that you did in those places in short, but don't make it lengthy, but yeah, mention a little description about that particular job. In Form 2 and Form 3, you need to mention about your personal statement and study plan, and about that I have mentioned in the separate video. The Form 4 is a research proposal, and this is relevant only for the research candidate, and yeah, undergraduate and graduate, you can skip that form. Number 5 is the most important one, that is the letter of recommendation. You will require 2 letters of recommendation. And for the recommendation letter, you can get one from your university professor and one from the place of work if you are already working. And yeah, in my case, I got one letter from my advisor from the undergraduate, who assisted me in my thesis work, who had also taught me several subjects in my undergraduate. So I got letter from her, and the other recommendation letter I got from my advisor here in Korea. So it's better to get the letter from someone who knows you better, the one who is more aware about you and your current ability, so that he can give you fair assessment and choose the person who has worked with you in a certain project for long term. Don't choose the person who has just taught you a single lecture, or like that. It's little bit unfair, and that person cannot assess you well. So choose the person who knows you well. And for the undergraduate applicants, you can get letter from your teachers or from your school principal. And since these documents, the recommendation letter, they need to be sealed in envelope. Once your teacher hand or the professor hands it to you, you cannot photocopy it. So ask them to prepare the 4 copies of those letter in advance, so that you can submit those documents to the embassy. And the form number 7 and form number 8, they are about the applicant's agreement and also personal assessment. So these are just for you to go through and sign, and nothing much. So you can move on to number 9. Number 9 is the certificate of bachelor's or bachelor's diploma, or whatever is your highest education attainment. For example, for the undergraduate level candidate, your high school certificate is the highest degree that you have attained, so you need to prepare those documents. And for doctoral, master's level certificate are the highest degree attainment, so you need to submit those documents. So yeah, if you might not have and some of you might not have officially graduated, so for you can prepare a document of expected graduation from your university or your high school. You can call your school or your university and ask them to prepare the document for the expected graduation date, and you can submit that during the application process. And after you got your mark sheet, before coming to Korea, you can submit your notarized or apostille copy of those documents. And then if any confusion regarding these documents, you can always call the embassy in your country. There are so much helpful people there, so they will help you with that. And the most problematic part comes here. The photocopies of the documents will not work. You need to photocopy and then notarize or apostille them. Notarization can be done in the nearest notary public, and apostille can be done in the Korean embassy in your country. And yeah, so there are lots of documents that you need to notarize, and you need to prepare the 4 copies of each. So start your work in advance. And you don't need to submit your real original document, because they are not going to return you the document even if you are selected for the scholarship, and later also you will need your original document. So don't submit your original. You can submit the notarized or apostille copy. Form number 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, that is for the postdoctoral research candidate, so you can skip that. Number 16 and 17 is the citizenship document. You can either submit birth certificate or citizenship of your parents, or if you already have a passport, you can submit your passport and your parents' passport. And if you are submitting citizenship or birth certificate, and if those documents are in your native language and not in English, then you need to notarize them and translate into English in the nearest notary public and then submit them. Form number 18, 19 and 20. This is not relevant for undergraduate and graduate level, so just tick it no or skip it. And number 21, regarding the topic result. The language certificate topic test of proficiency in Korean is an optional document, but if you have them, it will be a plus point. You don't need to study the 1-year language course also. So if you have, it's a plus point, but if you don't have, you don't need to worry. It's an optional document. And English language proficiency. In my case, I had the marks of IELTS, and IELTS or TOEFL or TOEIC, any score is acceptable, but again, these documents are optional, and if you have them, it's a plus point. And regarding the published paper, if you have certain paper published, you can get the photocopy of those paper and submit them with the application documents. And number 24 is awards. So you can just for the awards you don't need to notarize or apostille them. You can just attach the photocopy with the application documents, and only add those awards which are relevant to your field that you have achieved so far in your particular field of study. So that is going to help you and boost your application. You don't need to, like if you are applying for masters, then you don't need to put the award that you get in your grade 5, 6 or in the high school. That is just like making the application only the weighty, but it's not going to add value to your application. Yeah, so just add the recent and the relevant awards, so that is going to help you. And for embassy track applicants, you need to prepare 4 copies of all the above mentioned documents, and you need to submit them to the embassy in your country when the applications will be open. And if you are submitting via university track, you need to submit just single copy of all the documents to the Korean university that you wish to pursue your degree program. So all the best with your application process, and if you have any question you can comment below. Thank you for watching.